Dobro večer, dragi gledatelji, poštovanje. Dobrodošli još jedan na jedan. Večeras imam gošću iz SAD-a, iako ona naše gore list, kako mi to kažemo, zapravo uzrečica više vredi za ta vremena kad su se ljudi odavde iseljavali. Riječ je o posjeti iz Hrvatske bratske zajednice. Sa mnom je Bernadette Luketich Sikaras, ili Sikaras, kako vi kažete u SAD-u. Vi ćete govoriti engleski, slobodno govoriti engleski, jer ipak ste fluentni u engleskom, iako ja mislim da razumijete hrvatski dosta dobro. Za pretpostavite da mlađe generacije ne znaju puno o Hrvatskoj bratskoj zajednici, pa uvijek iznova, kako ovdje kažem, ajmo od početka. Idemo im objasniti što je to Hrvatska bratska zajednica i kad je, recimo, nastala. Jer mnogi će se iznenaditi da ono postoji, čini se, nekih 125 ili možda i više godina.
Yes, that's true. The Croatian Fraternal Union began in 1894, and we've been in existence since that time as what we call a mutual benefit society. Two journalists from Chicago actually saw a need for this type of mutual benefit program for our Croatian people. Many of, like my grandfather's time, they immigrated during the late 1800s, early 1900s. They worked in our mines, coal mines, mills. And they came to their communities, but there was nothing supporting them financially. So these gentlemen, as I said, they were journalists, but they came to Pittsburgh and began what was the Croatian National Society, so that we could provide financially for our own people, and which in the modern day is an insurance company, and that's what we are. That is our business. We are an insurance company.
Tada je to bilo sa nakanom metod da se pomogne, recimo, pri organizaciji ukopa za bolesti pojedinih Hrvata. Jel' tako? To su bile prvotne nakane.
Yes, correct. It was basically deceased, and it developed into well, actually, there were independent societies, independent Croatian societies that were supporting Croats in their own way, and these societies merged over time, and in 1926, actually created the Croatian Fraternal Union, and brought all these societies together. And I would say in the 1950s, we actually got legislation in America that recognized our fraternal benefit societies. We're treated differently because we are made through a common bond. The common bond, a lot of us are by nationality or by religion or some interest. And we get special treatment from the government in terms of taxes, but we give all of our profits back to our membership. And that's what makes us so special.
Iako je prezime Luketić neraskidivo vezano s Hrvatsku bratsku zajednicu, naravno ljudi ne znaju što ste, vi ste glavna tajnica i rizničarka, ali sasvim sigurno se ne zna kako ste to postali i koji su vaši motivi da se priključite, osim naravno obiteljskih. Rasli ste u tom okružju, uz oca ste stasali, upoznali ste se sa radom Hrvatske bratske zajednice od malena, dakle od djetinjstva. Ali što ste bili prije toga i kako izgleda vaš angažman? Je li to profesionalni angažman na mjestu glavne tajnice ili to volontirate? Da li radite i dalje nešto za novaca, ovo dobrovoljno? Kako to izgleda?
Sure. I currently am an employed executive of the Croatian Fraternal Union, but my whole life, my father, for those who do not know, was an officer for 55 years and was the national president for 36. So myself and my sister, we grew up in Croatian Fraternal Union, and we grew up in perpetuating our Croatian culture. I went to college. I have my undergraduate degree in economics and psychology, and I have my master's degree in industrial relations. Being around our Croatian people, my first goal was to work for labor unions, because a lot of our people were coal miners, and my goal was to get a job in industry such that I could help the workers. In the United States, we have something called human resources, which is all the aspects of employment, and that's what I do. I did that professionally for up until the last 7 years. I got on the board of the directors of the Croatian Fraternal Union in 1997. That's not an employed position, but it's like a board of directors. We oversee the operation of the society as a director, because there's only 3 executives. And after my dad retired, it's always been my goal, even though I had that background from college, it's always been my goal, and my profession, it's been my goal to be in the Croatian Fraternal Union and to work at the Croatian Fraternal Union. So I had many years on the board of directors and as second vice president. We get elected every 4 years. We go to a convention, and the CFU is organized in lodges in geographic areas. And every 4 years, we come together and we look at our bylaws, we look at our mission, we look at our business. So we have participation from all of our members who are represented. And, excuse me, and then we're elected at that convention. So that's how, when my father retired, who was then in my position, Brother Edward W. Pezo, he's now our national president, and then I was elevated from the board of directors.
Vratimo se još na trenutak na povijest Hrvatske bratske zajednice, jer to također se ne zna, barem se ne zna u široj javnosti, njeni se početci vezuju uz velika imena. Recimo, kum Hrvatske bratske zajednice trebao je biti Strossmayer. On je to i prihvatio, ali zbog podmakla dobi nije mogao putovati. U tom trenutku je naša slavna diva Trnina, Milka Trnina, bila u New Yorku, pjevala je i ona je prihvatila od Strossmayera, dakle, eto, da bude kuma Hrvatske bratske zajednice. Jednako tako, Bukovac je radio tu famoznu diplomu. Hoću kazati, to su sve slavne imena naše kulture, naše povijesti, politike, društva. Recite mi, je li Hrvatska bratska zajednica nastavila sa tako čvrstim vezama sa domovinom od samoga početka?
Oh, absolutely. That's one of our, that really is our main mission. Our main mission in our bylaws is to preserve, protect, and promote Croatian culture and identity. And that has been primary. That's our primary reason for existence right now. As I told you earlier, in our business, our profits go back to our membership. And we do that in terms of our activities with culture. We support many adult and junior tamburica ensembles. We hold huge festivals where they all come in one city. So, you know, and perform together and get to greet each other and be together and celebrate our Croatian culture. And we actually do bring our festivals to Croatia every 5 years, which is wonderful because we've always wanted to make sure our children feel attached. They understand. You know, they're performing at home, but now they get to see what the homeland is like. So that's one of our biggest activities and ties. But through that, we've worked very closely with Hrvatska Matica iseljenika and with various individuals here. And in addition, we have a cultural program where we bring an orchestra every year from Croatia. And we celebrate our culture by having an authentic ensemble every year to go on tour for our members to enjoy. So we do a lot of that. We do humanitarian work, as I'm sure you know.
To sam htio pitati. Naravno, vi ste dobili se zapravo 2 puta tu nagradu za fraternalisticu godine, a jedan puta sa ovakovim, dakle, društvom tamburica, jedan put naravno kao samostalna osoba, ali vaše djelatnosti nisu samo kulturne. Čitajući, dakle, na stranici Hrvatske bratske zajednice čime se sve bavite, vidio sam da je zapravo to iznenađujuće i najvjerovatno dobro ustrojeno kao firma. Vi imate kapital gotovo 400-500 milijuna dolara, o čemu ćemo posebno. Ali evo, malo nam prikažite sve vaše djelatnosti. Čime se sve Hrvatska bratska zajednica? Spomenuli ste ovu inicijalnu djelatnost da se u početku bavila, recimo, pomoći kao karitativnim, dakle, djelatnostima, pomoći bolestima i tako dalje, no danas je to preraslo jedno veliko zapravo okupljalište Hrvata koje u raznim djelatnostima jednim drugima pomažu. Pa koje su se svrhe i kako vi funkcionirate?
Yes, under our fraternal umbrella, we have our programs. Obviously, we spoke earlier about culture. Humanitarian work is very big for us. As you may or may not be aware, during the Homeland War, we provided over $22 million in aid to Croatia. We've bought ambulances, we bought medical equipment, we sent containers, funds. When we've just had these terrible earthquakes recently, we immediately put money together, and our members want to donate. We have something called the zajednici, which is our bi-weekly newspaper. And that's how we can keep communication and keep our people in touch with each other. And once they read about it, and we say, if you wish to donate, to donate it, at the home office, and we collect the money, and every penny that's given to us in humanitarian aid goes where it's supposed to go. We don't keep anything for administrative fees. We don't keep anything like that. So we're very proud of our humanitarian work. We also were the first group in North America for the restoration of the Vukovar water tower. We were told about the project. Actually, the president called, it was Kolinda Grabar-Kitarović at the time, contacted our president Pezo and said, this is a good project, can you help, can you start? And we did, and immediately wrote a check for $50,000, and our people donated more than that back. So humanitarian is our humanitarian work is very important to us. We do education. In the 1950s, my father and some of businessmen and colleagues of his decided that our Croatian kids that are members of our Croatian Fraternal Union need help with college. College is expensive. It started out as a very small fund. It's well managed. It's actually independently incorporated, and it has its own board of directors, of which I'm on that also. But we give, right now the fund is over $8 million. And we give everyone who applies, who's a member of CFU, and they qualify for some aid. But we give about $250,000 away to maybe 190 students every year. So that's another thing we're extremely proud of in our... And the other big thing that people love is our sports programs. Some people don't care for Tambora. Some people, so what they did years and years ago, they started wonderful sports programs that brought our members together in baseball, bowling, golf. Golf is one of our biggest tournaments, as is our ski holiday. We actually have, we're having our 50th anniversary of our ski holiday. We take a whole ski resort over. It's all Croatians. It's wonderful. From every chalet and every room, you see Croatian flags flying. Tambora's playing in the rooms. And they actually have a ski race. Not too many people go there to race, but there's a lot of people that attend just to be there and be together.
Da, glavno je da se osjeti taj duh zajedništva, koliko vidim. Ali koliko je to ljudi? Koliko ljudi se okuplja kroz Hrvatsku bratsku zajednicu od Hrvata koji su u SAD-u? I možete li nam malo skicirati kartu? Je li to sve, dakle, manje više ovako East Coast, dakle, Pensilvanija i tako? Ili je, recimo, mapa šarolika, ili naših ljudi ima posvuda po SAD-u?
Yes, we have...
Vi ste raspoređeni, rekli ste lodges. Zapravo vi to zovete na hrvatskom gnjezda.
Yes, and nests.
Nests, yeah.
We have right now, total membership is around 40,000 members. At some points, we had much larger membership, but we are very proud that we have 40,000 members. We have about 200. The lodge is the geographic... Yeah. And a lodge is for the adults. We say the adults 16 or 18 years old. But we have the junior nest, which is where the children who join are under the age of 16, and they have their own activities, and so they separate those. But they are, like, my lodge has Sveti Juraj, which is our lodge name, but then we have Guardian Angels, our nest name. And but there's approximately 220 lodges in existence, less nests, and the concentration is obviously where you're going to find where our immigration went. Pittsburgh, we have many Croatians. I'd say, to the data that I know, American Croats, there's probably about 500,000, maybe over 500,000, and I know we're only a percentage of that. But you'll find them in Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Detroit, Chicago, West Coast. In between, not a whole lot between the West Coast and the East Coast, except the Midwest, where Chicago, Milwaukee, very active. St. Louis, very active. And in some cities like St. Louis, and Pittsburgh did have, after the Homeland War, there was a wave of new immigration, especially families that were mixed marriages. And we had the Catholic Charities brought these folks over. So that's our next area of marketing. We're trying to get them to understand who we are and how we can benefit them.
Spomenom ovog vala migracija, otvorili ste jednu temu koja također može biti vrlo zanimljiva. Mi znamo da su se Hrvati iz Dalmacije, iz Slavonije, današnje i tako dalje, iz svih krajeva zapravo Hrvatske iseljavali svuda po svijetu. Ali postojali su veliki zapravo val je postojao iseljavanja u SAD. Moja familija po mami također otišla tamo koncem 19. stoljeća i to je to razdoblje jednog drugog vala useljavanja u SAD. I zanimljivo je da sami pišete na svojim stranicama da se oko 20% tih iseljenika do 1914. i vratilo u tadašnju kraljevinu, dakle, još je to tad bio Count K. Recite mi, molim vas, kako je to izgledalo? Jel imate nekakve podatke koliko je Hrvata tada otišlo iz Hrvatske u tom valu konca 19. stoljeća, početka 20.
Unfortunately, that would be something I would have to look up. I know how they came.
Ja sam pročitao jednu strašnu brojku za ondašnju populaciju. Pročitao sam da je to bilo sveukupno u tih 20 godina, a riječ je o, dakle, od tamo 70-ih, 80-ih, 19. stoljeća, oko 600.000 ljudi. Ali onda su se, naravno, kažem, 20% vratili. Je li moguće da toliko ljudi otišlo iz ovih krajeva?
Oh, I would think so. I mean, immigration was hard at the time. I know Ellis Island has records because I've visited, and they did a project when they were redoing the Statue of Liberty, and they had asked for a lot of people, and there's huge numbers that came over. Because remember, what I was told by my grandfather, you know, the men generally came first, and they would get jobs and try to establish themselves, and then they would bring their families, their wives, or, you know, children if they had them. So I would believe it could be that high.
Dobro, da sad ne nagađamo. Ajmo ovako to postaviti. Neke etničke zajednice su zatvorene. Ja sam, kako ne samo po majčinoj strani, nego i po tatinoj strani, mi je, recimo, stric 50 godina američki državljanin, on je u Njujorku, i razgovarao sam neki dan s jednim njegovim prijateljem, on je tamo drži restorana. Taj prijatelj je Italijan. On govori talijanski i dalje, zapravo, tako da taj engleski koji govori je nevjerojatno loš. I shvatio sam da zapravo mnogi ljudi ostanu tako zatvoreni u tim svojim zajednicama koje su izuzetno čvrste i tradicionalne, iako su cijeli život gotovo u SAD-u. No, evo, vi govorite fluentnije engleski, no hrvatski, pretpostavljam. Kako je sa našim ljudima? Da li se oni asimiliraju u drugoj, trećoj generaciji, u drugom, trećem naraštaju, pa se na neki način to hrvatstvo gubi, a postanu Amerikanci, ili je taj naš hrvatski identitet snažan i dalje?
It depends on where you are and how mature the immigration is. When you go to Pittsburgh, because we're now on third, fourth generation, I would say it's a lot more Americanized, a lot more open community. We have, and it's embarrassing to say, but we have lost our language, obviously. And when you go to communities like Toronto, Chicago, you know, New York, where it's a newer immigration, you have first and second generation, it's much more like more Croatian identity first. And then you have the other issue where over time, because we're a more mature immigration, you have mixed marriages. You don't have Croat marrying Croat, you have Croat marrying Italian, American, Scottish, you know. And I think that also broadens that and dilutes it a little bit. Because I know that's what I see. Even when you go to the communities, like in Pittsburgh, we don't have we don't have restaurants. We have maybe 1 or 2 shops where we could buy Croatian products. As I don't know if you're aware, but yeah, this is our building. We're very proud of our building, and if you ever come to the United States, you must come and see it. I could say every president of Croatia has been in our building. Many other diplomats. People come to this building just to take tours. I work there, and I'm so proud because it's the most beautiful place. We have original works from Generalic, from Lacković. We've got a Mestrović room. So you're working actually in an art gallery and a museum. And on the 3rd floor is a museum of the Croatian Fraternal Union, which is very, very rich in history. Plus, we also have Tambras, we've got Nošnja, we've got... you could spend hours there, but it is just a show place. It's a very beautiful place. It's on the east side of Pittsburgh.
Rekao sam na početku da ste vi dobili tu nagradu Fraternalistica godine. Recite mi, kako izgleda, i da možda objasnimo, jer to ovdje nije opet našem društvu svojstveno, mada mi imamo recimo u Dalmaciji te stare fraternije i tako dalje, ali ovo je jedan drugačiji pristup. Kako, dakle, su organizirane po SAD-u te fraternalističke organizacije? Ne morate reći koliko ih je, vjerojatno ih je bezbroj, ali vidio sam da, recimo, je Hrvatska bratska zajednica se povezala i sa, mislim, Češkom ili Slovačkom i tako nekim drugim etničkim bratskim zajednicama. Kako to izgleda?
Yes, what we have developed in Pittsburgh, and we have it throughout the state, it's really like an industry group would be. So back when we started the Croatian Fraternal Union, that also happened with the Slovaks. We have the Slovak Society, Polish. There's several Polish fraternals, Greek Catholic fraternals, Slovenes. So they have the same organization like us, and they have the same type of business like us. And when I was Fraternalist of the Year, what it is this industry group. We meet once a month. We talk about various... Insurance is a heavily regulated industry in the United States. So we have business issues that we exchange, but we also exchange programs. What are you doing to keep with your people, with your, you know, with your ethnicity, your nationality? So when I was Fraternalist of the Year, every year they select one person who works very diligently and does some great things within their society to promote the fraternal benefits. So I was selected this year. My father was the second Fraternalist of the Year in 1977, so there's 44 years between us. I was very proud.
Čestitam.
Hvala.
Prije sam spominjao strukturu i organizaciju i onda sam nagovijestio ovo pitanje. Pa dobro, prikupilo se tu puno novaca. Vi ste od početka imali dosta značajan, markantan inicijalni kapital, oko 40 miliona već na prelasku stoljeća. A sada je to 400-500 miliona dolara. Pa što radite s tim novcem? Neko bi ovako sa strane pitao u šta se to investira, čemu služi?
That's a great question, because when we advertise that our assets, we have gone over half a billion dollars. But we're an insurance company, just like Croatia Osiguranje. The part of the assets are the promises to pay in the future. You buy an insurance policy. We have to keep money so that at the time of your death, we have the money to pay you. That all is in the assets. The investments that people make, we pay more interest than the banks because of the way we're structured, and that's part of that assets. So it's when we advertise that and people don't know, you know, they think this is our money at our disposal, but it's not. It's money that we...
Zato pitam. Ovako na izgled izgleda pola milijarde dolara. Odlično.
We're just sitting on it, yeah. No, that's not the case. That's not the case. However, I will say that we probably, on non-COVID years, we probably spend, I don't know, close to $1 million in these programs that I spoke to you about, the things that keep our people together, the fraternal part, our festivals, our Tambura festivals, our maintaining our museum, our sports. So we spend over $1 million just in that alone.
Bi li moglo biti više naših ljudi koji bi se uključivali u takove aktivnosti ili ste zadovoljni odazivom Hrvata u SAD-u aktivnostima Hrvatske bratske zajednice?
No, we would love to have more. I mean, we really would. I think there is some confusion of who we are and what we do. You know, we're a very old organization. We're a very stable organization. I think so. I think so. And, you know, for us, we would take as many members as we could. I mean, we believe that we are structured, regulated, and strong enough to really be the first umbrella organization for all Croats, in the United States and Canada. We do a lot of support, and there's a lot of benefit to being our members. But, you know, we are always looking for new members. We're always striving to grow the business. But we will continue and keep our programs. And a lot of times people will join because, you know, they meet somebody and they like to ski. They want to see what we do. We're starting to do some more promotional videos via social media. If you go to our Facebook page, you'll see a wonderful small video of what we just did with our adult Tamburica festival. I mean, you see that. If you watch it, you're going to say, I wish I was there. You know, so we're doing more media kind of things because there is a big market for us. There are a lot of Croatians out there, and we know that they could be a part of us. Now, the new immigration, it's hard to sell insurance when someone comes from Croatia because, you know, they don't understand just how important it is and the benefits they could reap. And we really try hard, but I think, I don't know if it's because of how they're insured here in Croatia, but I think we have a better understanding as Americans of what insurance is and why you need it.
Pa polako je mi to shvaćamo. Recite mi jednu stvar, spomenuli ste da je vaš gospodin otac bio 36 godina na čelu Hrvatske bratske zajednice. Bio je 55 godina glavni odbornik ili kako se sad to zove točno da ne pogriješim. To je cijeli jedan život. On se kao mlad čovjek priključio sa 16 godina Hrvatskoj bratskoj zajednici. Recite mi malo o povijesti obitelji Luketić i kako ste se vi obrali, kako ste se našli u SAD-u.
My father is from near Ogulin, village around Ogulin. My mother's parents are from Slun and Cetingrad. I don't know exactly what was the catalyst, but my dad, actually, he became a lodge member at 16. From the day he was born, he was a member of Croatian Fraternal Union. And his father was active in it, saw the value in it, helped to build our Croatian home in our town where we live. And it's all we've known. They came here to work in the coal, both of them worked in the coal mines. And actually, all of my father's brothers worked in the coal mines. And I know why I would do it, but it's been in his blood from a very, very young age. And thankfully, it's in my blood and my sister's blood. My sister is our teacher for all Tambura, where I come from, and her husband, Dan, also. It's our life. It really is. And we never questioned it as children. We listened to Croatian music. You know, that's why I said I feel terrible that I'm not articulate enough or in Croatian language to have this type of conversation. If we were sitting somewhere privately, I could talk to you. I find your grammatics very difficult. But it's been a part of our life, and it's all we've ever wanted to do. First time I came to Croatia was on a concert tour with our ensemble in 1969, and we came for every 2 years up until the war, pretty much. And so we always felt that strong connection. And it's really what we knew. I didn't really want to know anything else.
Nastavit ćemo sa Luketićima. Samo da vas pitam, sad mi nešto pada na pamet kad toliko strasno i to je jako lijepo vidjeti koliko vi zapravo osjećate da neko svoje hrvatstvo unatoč cijelom životom provedenom u SAD-u. Recite mi nešto, koliko ljudi u SAD-u su Amerikanci, a koliko su na neki način, ja spomenuti, Škoti, Slovaci, Italijani, Grci, pa Hrvati. Koliko se onda ti etniciteti dodiruju, a koliko vam to uopće nije važno, nego ste naprosto eto Amerikanci? Znate, kad čovjek gleda, recimo, neko javljanje, neko naš novinar iz SAD-a ili neki film, opće mjesto je da je, recimo, američka zastava pred kućom, u svakom mjestu, u najmanje kući, bilo gdje u SAD-u i tako dalje, da je taj neki patriotizam snažno istaknut i tako dalje, da to amerikanstvo prožima sve. Ali ne mislim koliko se vi zatvarate u svoje male zajednice ili veće, velike, ne znam, Iraca, Italijana i tako dalje. No, koliko vam to na neki način priječi potpuni kontakt ili to uopće nije važno, nego ste naprosto, eto, ponosni što ste Amerikanci i živite kao Amerikanci?
Oh, we're proud to be Americans. I mean, that's one thing that when our grandfathers came, and I say our meaning my generation, you know, they wanted they wanted their children to be born. They wanted to assimilate. You know, my father always taught me, he was a proud American, proud Croatian, proud American. When I became legal to vote, my sister, that was important to us. We had to vote. We had to do our duty. We had to be good American citizens. And it doesn't detract. I mean, we understand. We, especially me and my sister, we're Americans first. But we live a good part of our life to maintain the beauty of our Croatian ties. So, and I think the other nationalities are the same way. I think in the early 1900s, overall, because I lived in a small community, a small coal mining community that had basically Slovaks, Italians, Croatians, and some Serbs. And everyone was the same way. You know, we didn't go to school the day that you had to vote when we were voting in the United States. I mean, your kids, as a child, you just learned that that was really important. I regret that in the United States today, I don't think that people, you know, young children are that, I don't want to say forced by their parents, but I don't think that they feel the pride that we felt from my grandparents and my parents.
Razumijem vas. Razumijem. Vratimo se sad Luketićima i toj involviranosti vašeg oca od rane mladosti do 16. godine. Koja je bila njegova životna misija? Budući da očito Hrvatska bratska zajednica, ali što je imao na umu, jer Hrvatska bratska zajednica doživjela potpunu transformaciju i nevjerovatni uspon u tih 36 godina koliko on bio na čelu. Svi su, recimo, u Jugoslaviji, to je, recimo, važan podatak i vrlo neobično, rekao sam prije emisije, da sam ja imao dojam, što zbog, recimo, Lisinskog, što zbog kojekakvih donacija, aktivnosti Hrvatske bratske zajednice, ali to je bila, recimo, jedna institucija koja u Jugoslaviji, iako je bila, imala nosi taj prefiks Hrvatsko, nije bila proskribirana. Za nju se znalo, nije imala nikakav odium oko sebe, dakle, ništa negativno se o njoj nije govorilo. To je bilo fantastično, mislim, izboriti se u to vrijeme za takvu reputaciju. Na koji način je vaš otac uspio, eto, podići Hrvatsku bratsku zajednicu od tih 36 godina do tih razmjera da, eto, pola milijarde dolara imate, da ste prisutni širom SAD-a i da ste najveća krovna organizacija? Jeste li puno pričali sa njim tih 36 godina o tome šta namjerava, koji su mu ciljevi?
I believe he reached his objectives, and if he was still alive and in his office, there would be more. He always worked for for the Croatian people. I don't know how he was born with that drive, but by being exposed to that drive, that's how we are. We were always Croatian Fraternal Union. During the different systems that are in place here, he always had a burning desire to make sure that our identity and Croatian people were always his priority. And in building the society, he was a very smart businessman. He never went to college. We really our assets really rose during his administration. And that had to do with his natural business acumen. You know, I mean, investment decisions, because we have this money and we invest it. And some of the decisions he made were extremely good, you know, that helped that, for sure. I mean, he was very good. I can't say that personally. He was not a rich man, I mean, in no sense of the imagination, but he made really good decisions. And in building the CFU, he was a very forward-thinking man. And I always was amazed. I mean, he's my dad. You should always be amazed by your father. But for me, he did great things. And some people, when he would say, I think we need to do this, some people would say, really? You know, why? Doesn't make sense. It's going to cost money. But then it grows into something that's very fruitful. And he never said no or hesitated when a Croatian was in trouble, when someone needed his assistance. Sometimes they needed his influence. And, but his focus was very, very sharp. It was never anywhere but our Croatian people, here, abroad, wherever.
Rekao sam da su u vrijeme njegovog tog mandata čak i u Jugoslaviji bile veze jako dobre i pomagali ste naravno iz iseljeništva ovdje u domovini punim plućima, koliko god ste mogli. Kako su danas te veze artikulirane, kako izgledaju i u čemu se one sastoje? Osim te kulturne razmjene.
Yeah. No, I believe we do. Gordon Grlić Radman was just, you know, at our ured, at our home office. We keep communication, obviously with Hrvatska Matica iseljenika, because they're, you know, an immigrant organization. We have good communication with Milas's office, you know, for Croats abroad. And we try to maintain those. It's even with my visits here. I was so honored to be able to meet with President Milanović and Prime Minister Plenković, and let them know what we do. And if we can help, or if there's some way they could help us when we need to help our people. So we really, I mean, my dad was very special. He had special bonds with a lot of people. We're really trying to work to keep that together.
Pa dobro, i vi ste jako puno prisutni. Koliko sam pročitao, ovim 14. i 15. posjet Hrvatskoj u ovom svojstvu. Dakle, radite što možete, letite. Recite mi, u kojoj su mjeri, sad već imate potpuni pregled, vi spominjete često tamburice, pa ću nešto pitati, vidim da su vam drage, ali zadržimo se na ovom biznisu. U kojoj mjeri su, recimo, znate, mi u Hrvatskoj smo imali 90-ih veliku mantru, mi ćemo biti kao Švicarska, naše će iseljeništvo pohrliti, vraćat će se ljudi u Hrvatsku, ulagat će i tako dalje. To se nije desilo. Kako zapravo stoje stvari sa američkim Hrvatima ili Hrvatima koji su u drugoj, trećoj generaciji, Amerikanci, eto tako. Pa evo, moji su već u četvrtoj. Ali ne pokazuju baš neki izrazito smisao ili namjeru za ulaganjem u Hrvatsku. Znam da ne volite kritizirati, znam da ne volite se gurati u politiku, ali evo, ipak nam kažete, kakvo je raspoloženje onda među Hrvatima SAD-a kad je o investicijama riječ? U zemlju, naravno.
Investing in Croatia, I can't speak to that because that's not anything we're involved in. You know, I know some things from the National Federation.
Ali imate prijatelja, imate puno kontakata na tom položaju.
Right. Right. I think that my contacts, we don't go from the business side. I know about the returning to Croatia, though. It may not seem that there are a lot of people, but there are a lot of people that do come back when they get on pension, or especially the younger people when they first go on pension. You know, I know a lot of people who have bought apartments here, and they plan to spend 6 months, you know, in the States and 6 months here. I know a lot of people are applying for citizenship these days. Actually, I am too. And they do that for, you know, for future being able to come here. As far as business, I can't speak to that because I'm just really not knowledgeable on exactly people, you know, of companies investing here in Croatia. So I'm sorry about that.
Kako bi okarakterizirali hrvatsko iseljeništvo? Naravno, na toliki broj ljudi ima najrazličitijih ljudi, najrazličitih socijalnih položaja, ali, znate, kad se govori o tim valovima imigracije, recimo za Njemačku, onda se obično govori bauštela. Ljudi su bili radnici, eto tako. U Francuskoj to je manji dio iseljenika, ali je na taj broj velik dio intelektualaca, ljudi sa akademskom pozicijom i tako dalje. Kako se snalaze naši ljudi tamo? Imali puno ovoga zapravo stručnjaka u najrazličitim znanstvenim disciplinama ili recimo humanističkim djelatnostima ili recimo liječnika, ne znam šta i tako dalje. Ili ste spominjali radove u rudniku i tako dalje, ili je i dalje ta populacija ostala vezana uz takova zanimanja?
When they first immigrated, yeah, it was coal mines. And you saw them go from like Pittsburgh, coal mines, steel mills, and then when the auto industry, and that's how, and then they would leave Pittsburgh and go there. But currently, we're very proud of our Croatian American population. We've got many doctors now. We never used to get doctors that were schooled in Croatia. And in Pittsburgh, we've got the University of Pittsburgh Medical Center. And we've got a number of excellent specialists who came from Croatia. We've got technical people that, you know, now with the computers and everything, it's very varied, and they're finding good employment, which is great.
Prepoznaje li Amerika to? Jesmo li dovoljno brojni upravo izraziti u takvim slučajevima da je stav Amerike spram Hrvata, kao eto spram nekakve male zemlje s koje dolaze ipak ljudi koji postoje markantne osobe u tim sredinama u kojima rade, ili se za Hrvatsku i ne zna? Kakav vi mislite?
I think it's a mix. I mean, there are still people, when you say I'm Croatian, when they say, well, what's your name? What's your name? You say, I'm Croatian. You have to explain what Croatia is. Then there's others that have known about it or know about it. Let me tell you, the soccer a couple years ago put Croatia on the map for everyone, which made it a lot easier. Very fewer people ask, where is Croatia and where is that country located and who they are. But we're not, I don't believe, at least in the Pittsburgh area, you know, you have certain nationalities like the Jewish, you know, they're a force. They're organized and they're large. And, you know, when you say but with Croatians, people know who we are, but it's not like there's any particular emphasis, or we don't stick out as a dominant or notable group. In the scheme of all of America, we're talking now, right? But I believe, you know, in a place like Pittsburgh, where our CFU is located, people know who CFU is, obviously, or Croatians are, obviously.
Spominjali ste te tamburice više puta tijekom emisije. Što, eto, vama znači ta tambura i ta glazba? Da, vidim da vam je to drago, sama ste dio toga, svirate. Prije sam spomenuo da ste postali fraternalist jednom zgodom, dakle 2 puta ste to postali, jednom unutar jednog benda, reći ćemo, ili kako hoćete, orkestra. To je tamo u Hrvatskoj bratskoj zajednici onda kult, postoji tamburice, puno ljudi svira, ili kako stoji s time?
No, we have a lot of people play tambura. You would be very surprised. We start our children at 5 in our ensemble, and we've had 54 festivals. And we had to develop an adult festival because people want to continue playing tambura, and the juniors, they stop at 21. Tambura is very important to me. It was my first love. I started playing when I was 5 years old. And the friendships that I made through is just incredible. Last night we were in Markuševac singing. And I went to Slavonia for 3 days, and I met with I told you we have this, once a year we bring a band over, which is fabulous. So when I come here, I just get to meet with them, but we normally, I was in Pajo Kolarić. They had a proba for me to show, their tambura playing, and then Ravnica played, and then we all played together, and it's really a bonding kind of thing. Now, I don't play very well. I mean, but I've been playing for a very long time. Actually, you may know Jerry Gerchevich, everyone with Shkoro. Jerry and I grew up together. So his father was my teacher. So it's in our blood.
On je poznat.
Yeah.
Da. Znamo to ime. Recite mi, vi ovo odižete nekom vedrinom, ali Amerikanci su inače takovi, a mi ste, koliko ste Hrvatica, toliko ste evo Amerikanka, ako ne i više. No rekli ste za Hrvatsku da mislite da Hrvatska ima vedru budućnost. Na čemu zasnivate takav stav?
Well, I believe you do. I mean, I came here when I was 10 years old, and the difference through the years of Croatia and the difference of Croatia now. I'm very comfortable. Anyone can be comfortable in Croatia because it's developed so well. Your shops are great. I mean, obviously you have the land and the beautiful space that everybody wants to come see as a tourist. I mean, even not just over the coast, you got Plitvička jezera, you've got so many wonderful things here. But I just believe Croatia is become a place where people can feel very welcome. I think that Croatia, people are curious about Croatia. They never used to be curious about Croatia before. You have all kinds of movie stars that come here now. That's why I say it's bright. I think that, granted, it's been still just a short time that you've been independent. and things have changed quite a bit. But I think a lot of it's changing for the good. And I know as someone who's come as a child here and now, it's like night and day for me. And I feel as comfortable walking in Zagreb as I do in Pittsburgh at this point. And I think that when your country can be so welcoming and your technology now, I remember when I first came, I had to go into a post office to make a telephone call to call back home, You've really gone, the country itself has really gone far over these years. And I can't say a negative thing about Croatia.
Tu smo na minutu, dvije do kraja emisije i samo kratko, kako se snalazite u SAD-u tijekom ove pandemije? Je li vam lakše u Hrvatskoj ili vam je život u SAD-u lakši? Kakove su mjere tamo?
What's happening here is the same thing happening at home. There's demonstrations, there's people refusing vaccinations, there's people, but in the United States it's very politicized. Democrats, Republicans, we've got two parties, and they've done, the COVID has gone to that direction, which is really sad. It affected, we were shut down probably for a year and a half, most activities and everything. It affected us personally at the Croatian Fraternal Union because we had to shut down that piece of what we do. Caused a lot of trials and tribulations for us because we have these big events and you can't have them now. So what do you do and how do you get out of contracts and how do you plan for the next one? When is it going to end? Very, very difficult. But our business didn't suffer, and we did lose some members. Out of 40,000 members, we lost about 35 to 40 due to COVID specifically. But I see a lot of similarities from the people I've talked to while I'm here in Croatia. The things that you're experiencing, same as us.
Da, nažalost, s jedne strane loše to čuti da smo svi, cijeli svijet u tome, a opet dobro, eto, da nismo ni po čemu izuzetak, jer mi u Hrvatskoj uvijek mislimo da je kod nas najgore i da smo izuzetak. Hvala vam lijepo, bili ste silno šarmantni i draga gošća. Dođite nam ponovo. Prenesite naše tople pozdrave svima koje sretnete tamo gdje idete, ma gdje u SAD-u da bili. I svako dobro i do nekog drugog susreta. Doviđenja.
Thank you so much, and I wish you all the best for the holidays, you and all of your viewers, and if you have one very big open invitation to come and visit us.
Svakako ćemo dolaziti jer imamo, kažem, puno rođaka tamo, vjerojatno svaki treći Hrvat. Hvala vam lijepo, dragi gledatelji, što ste bili sa nama. Gledajte nas ponovo sljedeću srijedu. Doviđenja.